Greetings from Top 10 Channel. The debate over who the greatest is always rages, regardless of the sport being discussed, but ranking the greatest UFC fighters of all time is more challenging than most due to the diversity of the fighters and the numerous weight classes that must be taken into consideration. But we've already done the legwork for you by ranking the top 10 UFC fighters of all time. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you have anything to add. Stay tuned. Number 10. Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. Along with his rival Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell is credited with popularizing UFC and bringing it into the public eye. He is also known for pulling off some of the Octagon's most brutal knockouts, putting 9 different opponents out cold. His 3-fight series with Couture is UFC lore, and the Iceman came out on top, winning both matches by knockout. Number 9. Royce Gracie. Royce Gracie, the original UFC star and a true MMA pioneer, won 3 of the first 4 UFC contests when there were no weight classes and hardly any rules in place. He fought 3 times in one night at UFC 1, 4 times in one night at UFC 2, and 3 more times in one night at UFC 4. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the prominence of ground and grappling in MMA are other accomplishments attributed to Gracie. Number 8. Jose Aldo, Jr. The first UFC featherweight champion, Jose Aldo retained the title for more than 5 years before losing it, during which time he defeated the Korean Zombie, Frankie Edgar, and Chad Mendes twice. Aldo, who relies on strong defensive wrestling and excellent Muay Thai striking, is arguably the best mixed martial artist to compete in his weight class. In addition, he obtained black belts in both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Luta Livre wrestling, making him one of the most well-rounded fighters available. Number 7. Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic, one of the few competitors on our list of the best UFC fighters, is regarded by many in the sport and even some of his former rivals as the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. Miocic has dominated the top division in the UFC by using his precise striking and powerful hands. He has victories over the heavyweight champions Daniel Cormier, Francis Ngannou, and Junior Dos Santos on his record. Number 6. Amanda Nunes, the Lioness. The accomplishments and records Amanda Nunes has racked up throughout her illustrious MMA career could fill an entire page. The Brazilian has repeatedly demonstrated against the best opposition the sport has to offer that she is the best female mixed martial artist the world has ever seen. During her reign, she has defeated 7 current or former UFC champions, including Ronda Rousey and Valentina Shevchenko twice. Number 5. Demetrious Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Demetrious Johnson, the first champion of the UFC's flyweight division, is widely regarded as the greatest flyweight to ever put on the gloves. Mighty Mouse held the 125-pound title for an absurd 2,142 days, including a UFC record 11 consecutive successful title defenses, thanks to his exceptional wrestling, lightning-fast reflexes, and general elusiveness. Number 4. Khabib Nurmagomedov. The only athlete on this list who has never lost is Khabib Nurmagomedov. He aggressively outnumbered his opponents by mauling them with a deadly and relentless combination of sambo, wrestling, and judo. With his 3 decisive victories over Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje to cap off his MMA career, many people began to think that he might be the best fighter to ever step foot inside the UFC Octagon, pound for pound. Number 3. Georges St. Pierre, Rush. Georges St. Pierre, one of the few competitors on our list who was still at the top of his game when he retired, was unbeaten from 2007 to 2017 before calling it a career. St. Pierre was an expert at winning by decision, doing so in 12 of his 26 fights. Although he is the greatest welterweight fighter ever, most people will remember him for shockingly making a comeback in 2017 to defeat Michael Bisping and finish him for the middleweight title. Number 2, Anderson Silva, the Spider. Silva was primarily a stand-up fighter and a master of several arts, including Muay Thai and Taekwondo. He is regarded as the greatest striker in UFC history. He was still able to defeat Olympic wrestlers Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson in a number of notable submission matches, though. Although a southpaw, the Brazilian could also fight orthodoxly with great success. Number 1, Jon Jones, Bones. If it weren't for a dubious DQ that even his opponent contested, Jon Jones, our top UFC fighter of all time, might have had an unblemished record. Jones has dominated the light heavyweight division, submitting opponents with guillotine chokes, rear naked chokes, elbows and punches that resulted in unanimous decisions, TKOs, heelocks, and TKOs via elbows and punches. His 95% takedown defense percentage and 1,463 significant strikes are UFC records for the light heavyweight division. Thank you for your interest. We are happy that you watched the entire video to its conclusion. Please leave a comment if you have anything to say after clicking the subscribe and like buttons. Thank you for coming.